So with this video, I want to tie it into both relationships, but also just a general perspective on life. And first things first, I want you to understand, like, we all have a vision. We all have a life that we envision ourselves living. You might have a dream, you might have a career in which you're pursuing. You're like, I want my life to look like this, whether that vision is small or whether it's a huge vision, whatever. And many of us get in this headspace to where we think we can wait. We think we have time to waste, and that, I need to wait till I get this degree. I need to wait till I have this figured out. I need to wait until this falls into place. I need to wait till I'm fully healed before I can get into a new relationship, or I can't do this, or I want my future relationships to look like this. And so we have visions, we have an ideal version of ourselves that we want to become eventually someday, but we automatically assume we can wait to start becoming that person. Or we might want to be a rich person. We might want to be a person who's in a healthy marriage. Might want to be a specific type of mom or a specific type of dad or whatever. And we see this person and we see their characteristic traits that they have and the type of person that they are. And there's a way we could start becoming that person now. It's almost like we're attracting the life that we want. But many of you are in a place where it's like, oh, I got to wait till I have this amount of money to start moving in this type of way. Or I know even a lot of y'all wait until you're in relationships to start working on your insecurities or your limiting beliefs that might be holding you back or affecting the relationship. And you have to realize that you should be preparing yourself at all times for the life that you want, because opportunities are going to present themselves and you have to be the right person to make the most out of them. So people are going to come into your life that are possibly good for building a relationship with. But if you haven't been doing the work all the time in the past or before the relationship to even be prepared for that relationship, then there's going to be a relationship with a lot of problems. But that's all because you weren't preparing. It's all because you weren't becoming the person that you saw yourself becoming, or becoming the person that you wanted yourself to be. And so you might be reflecting on your past relationships. Dang, I had all these insecurities. I had all these problems. I didn't know what type of partner I wanted, or I got with the wrong person. And so it's like, if you start preparing right now, whether you're in a relationship or whether you're single, healing, whatever, now is the time for you to start becoming the person that you ideally want to become. Whether that's getting more secure with yourself, understanding where you get your self-love from, understanding, reframing your limiting beliefs and your mindset, or whatever it might be, reconstructing the habits you have and, the actions you take and where you put your time, where you invest your energy, the type of people you have around you. All of that will help you build the life that you want. So for myself, I didn't just get subscribers overnight, or you guys didn't find me just overnight. It was the skills I did leading, or the skills, the habits, the person I built myself into up until this point that even allowed me to make the most out of this opportunity. I had to build the habits of discipline to, set aside time and, know how to get out videos on time, or, get out videos consistently. I had to build my mindset. I didn't just randomly one day have all this experience and that's what I learned from. I had experience, but I also read a lot of books. I had a lot of conversations. I learned a lot of things. And that's what allowed me to become a lot more wiser, a lot more understanding of certain things. I developed conversation skills. There's a lot of things I developed behind the scenes. I'm building myself into a man where I'm like, okay, this is the type of person I want to be in a relationship, so I can become that person right now. So then when that relationship comes, I could just go straight in and it's working out cool, whatever. But a lot of you guys think you have all this time to waste. You might even be a person that's in college right now. You might be in the middle of building your dream. You're like, well, I'm in college right now, so there's not much I could do. No, you can build the type of person you are, the character, your conversation skills, your networking, whatever it might be. And all of that will just make you a much better you for when opportunities do present themselves, because you're not preparing in the moment. It's no different from a test. Many people, the test itself or the night before isn't what's going to make or break the test usually. It's usually, hey, all the notes I took throughout the week, all the studying I did throughout the week, or all the studying I did, let's just say finals, for example, is all the notes you took leading up to finals that you go back to and just have to review. It's not like you have to go through the entire book and cram the entire whole book and you're learning something completely new. It's the preparation you did leading up to that semester final or whatever, or that midterm or whatever. It's all the preparation you did the months before that allowed you to feel a lot more prepared, that allowed you to know what you were doing, that allowed you to know which direction in which you were going. And so that's ideally the type of person you want to be. And so we look at our current self and we say, dang, I got this bad habit, I got these problems, I got these insecurities. I'm not saying to make yourself a project or make yourself somebody that, you're constantly trying to fix yourself and you're like in this rush to like build yourself into your ideal self. Like, obviously take your time, obviously do it properly, obviously just, go about it in a humble, correct way. But I am saying, like, don't become comfortable with the person that you are now, waiting for life to present itself to you, or waiting for life to step right in front of you to then start taking the actions that you could have been taking all along. And so for myself, I envision myself becoming a public speaker. I envision myself doing all these different things, helping out people, coaching, being financially free and stuff like that. And so with that vision, I'm developing habits right now, speaking on camera. Then it allows me, now I'm putting myself out there to where opportunities are going to come to me because of who I built myself into, the brand I built for myself, the name I built for myself. It's a lot easier for people to find me and access me and actually trust in me to be able to come out and speak, because there's so much evidence of me talking on camera. Now I don't got to deal with, oh shoot, I ain't never been in front of the camera before. I ain't never spoke in front of people. I don't know how to interact with people. This is my first time speaking. And so I'm all anxious and stuff. I don't even got to do all that because I've been doing this and I've been preparing myself to enable myself to make the most out of that opportunity. Recently I got in this stint where I was getting really comfortable. Like, I was a person, I used to be able to function off of 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I used to be able to kind of live my life in a lenient way, especially like two years ago, whatever. But now I've taken on a lot more responsibilities to where I actually need like better sleep and things like that. But I know a couple years ago, I was kind of living life a lot more freely. And, I was able to spend a lot more time on the games. I was able to spend a lot more time just hanging out with friends. And I'm not saying you got to cut all these different things out of your life and do what I've done, but I've developed certain things to where, I don't get comfortable anymore. I understand when I can't be listening to my feelings, because I ask myself now, I'm like, what will my ideal future self do in this moment? It's like, what my ideal future self, will he go lay down? Will he go scroll on TikTok? Will he go read a book? Or will he, is it okay to play the game right now? Does he have downtime? Does he have time for relaxing and hanging out with friends? Does he go out and party? Does he go out and hang out with these specific type of people? What's his approach towards that? And then it's like, okay, yeah, he might do that, but then he handles these responsibilities first. And so I've been asking myself that a lot more lately, because, there's moments where you are tired. There's moments where you don't feel like getting uncomfortable and making certain changes. There's moments where you don't feel like building certain habits because you don't want to leave your old self behind. But in those moments, you got to ask, like, who am I trying to build myself into? And do I really want to build myself into that person like I claim I want to? Because many of us claim we want a specific type of life. We want to have this lifestyle. We want to have all these different things. But then when we see the sacrifices, when we see what it takes to actually become that person, when we see what it takes to actually, get there, then it's like, oh, shoot. You know what, I don't know if I really want that, or I don't know if I'm really willing to give up my comfort zone and, the way I've always lived my life. And that's what it ultimately comes down to. Like, are you willing to do what it takes in order to become the person that you claim you want to be? Because if not, then you'll never become that person. You'll never know how to make the most out of those opportunities. If you never properly heal yourself and face yourself and make the necessary changes, overcome the specific insecurities. If you never sit with that discomfort and do that internal work, then you can never expect to get in a long-lasting relationship, or you can never expect to get in a relationship that doesn't have problems stemming out from those insecurities and those issues that you never decided to handle. And so, again, you just have to understand, like, who am I trying to become? And how can I start being that person right now? How can I start making changes within myself right now? What does that person's day even look like? You might be a person, you might binge Netflix for 10 hours. And I'm not saying you got to completely cut that out, but now it might be, okay, I got to cut that down to 5 hours and then spend a lot more time. It might be reading. It might be developing a skill. It might be doing a certain hobby. It might be joining a specific club. It might be spending more time with friends. It might be educating yourself more. You know, whatever that looks like in your life, whatever that looks like for your vision that you have for yourself. Basically just really comparing and contrasting, like, who do I want to be and where am I at right now, and how can I start slowly making changes? Because many of you're going to get in this mindset where it's like you think you could change overnight. You think, oh, I gotta start doing this tomorrow. But that's really not it. It's like growth is such a slow thing that it's a day by day process. Growth is one of those things where you don't feel it. You don't like hop from day to day being like, oh yeah, I've grown a lot in the past 3 days. It's more so like, oh shoot, it's been a year since I started my self-improvement journey, and now I'm looking back on how I looked a year ago, and my life just looks completely different, even though I didn't even notice my life really changing. It's like with your muscles in the gym. Like, if you pay attention day by day, dang, am I getting stronger? Dang, am I getting bigger? Whatever. It's like you won't notice it, but it's weeks, it's months ahead where you reflect and you look back, you're like, oh shoot, I did kind of slim up. Dang, I do look a bit more toned and stuff. But if you're looking at it every single day, then you won't notice it. It's the continuously stacking days, continuously stacking habits, continuously transforming and changing. And that's when you'll see the change. That's when you'll see the growth. And then you'll notice the growth. Sometimes you don't even notice it until you're in your opportunities, until you're in your blessings. Again, until you're in that relationship. You're going to be like, dang, I'm so grateful I worked on myself back then. Dang, I'm so grateful I made those changes. I'm so grateful I matured or whatever. Whatever it might be for your life, you're going to, it's the actions you take right now that are going to help your future self out so much more and make your life so much easier. So, you know, for you, it might be, hey, I need to become more confident. Hey, I need to learn this specific habit. I need to become a lot more disciplined. I need to get with my emotions, become a lot more emotionally intelligent. I need to get better at not, you know, believing everything my mind thinks, whatever it might be for yourself in your life. Hey, I need to get rid of this insecurity. I need to stop needing other people. I need to learn how to be alone. I need to learn how to, you know, not always have my happiness in the hands of others. I need to learn how to become okay with just being myself. I need to learn how to accept myself, love myself, whatever it might be for you. Start working on that now so that when the opportunities that need you to be there, that need you to have that self-love, that need you to be happy so you can make the most out of those opportunities, when you have the proper mindset or whatever, you won't be in a position where you're trying to make all these changes because now opportunities right in front of you and you weren't prepared for it. Start preparing yourself now for the life that you want in your future. And I promise you, it'll be worth it. And you'll be so happy that you started making the sacrifices that you will have to make, or the change that you have to make. But, you know, I appreciate and love you guys as always. Be sure to sign up for my Letting Go to Grow community. I'll dropping very, very soon down in the description, as well as join up on the Discord. Hoodies are 25% off for the week for Easter. So come Easter, the Monday after Easter Sunday, they'll be off sale. So whenever you're watching this video, be sure to go cop it. It's 25% off on both hoodies, both designs. But, you know, like I said, appreciate and love you guys as always. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.